Good morning and welcome to Veterans Heartbeat on the Pulse of the Veteran, where we discuss issues of health, happiness, opportunity, and well-being of interest to the veteran community, their families, and the community who honors them.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Veterans Heartbeat, brought to you by River, the Rural Institute for Veterans Education and Research. My name is Jason Zencraft. My co-host Ed Lisofsky is here with me, and he is the Executive Director of River. We welcome you to a weekly wide-ranging discussion of issues, events, opportunities, and needs in our veteran community. Morning, Ed. How you doing?
Morning, Jason.
We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Farside Signs. They create amazing-looking vehicle graphics that will drive traffic to your business. They are located at 1526 South Avenue West in Missoula. Follow them on the web, Instagram, and Facebook, or just stop on by. So today we have Chris Scobie, and she is the Family Assistance Center Specialist out of Missoula. And she's going to talk about what her and her organization do for veterans and civilians throughout Missoula and how she might be of assistance to some of you. So how are you doing today, Chris?
Great. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So what do you got for us?
I am the Family Assistance Center Specialist located out at the Missoula Armory. I'm one of 6 dispersed throughout the state of Montana. We are part of the National Guard family programs. We have primary duties in providing resources and referrals in 6 essential services, which include crisis intervention, financial, legal, TRICARE, ID cards and DEERS enrollment, and additionally, we have several resources and referrals for education, housing, and employment.
Well, it's really nice having you in the studio this morning, Chris. And it's nice that there is a program that's for the families of the National Guard. I know there's been some problems in that area, and it's nice to find a resource for the family members.
Yes, I'm very happy to be a part of it. I want to make sure that everyone understands that if you're in the DEERS system, you are eligible for our program. If you have an ID card, we're here to help you.
You know, it's been really interesting and really tough time of year for the veterans, and a lot of those now don't understand that they are in the DEERS system. Can you explain that a little better?
The DEERS system is primarily what everyone is placed into when they have entered any type of military service. It is how your military ID, CAT card, and insurance is given to you.
Now, some of these veterans come out and they don't have any kind of a CAT card or ID card from the military. Are they still in the DEERS system?
They should be. We can always check on that. If they're not in there, we can get them in there. It's just a matter of showing your DD-214 and any other type of documentation that you may have, and we'll get it all sorted out and get you on the road to the resources and needs that you need.
Fascinating program. We're coming up close to bringing into the community our HEART program. We've talked about it. So it sounds like you're kind of there with the idea of what we're doing with the HEART program, but it's nice to know that there's another resource for these guys.
Exactly. We, as one of 6 in the state of Montana, we help everyone within our regions, though we don't turn anyone away. I am in charge of Ravalli County, Powell County, Missoula County. We also have someone located in Helena, Belgrade, Billings, Kalispell, and Havre.
Well, also in the studio this morning, we have Kristen Stratford, who just joined the River team, and she's an MSW with on a road to getting her license. Is that correct, Kristen?
That's correct. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And Kristen attended the suicide conference down in Vegas with us, and she's here to report a little bit on that. But also, Kristen, this is the hard time of the year. I know that there was a couple suicides recently within the National Guard here in Montana. The Montana National Guard has been really decimated with a lot of the suicides. So I'm hoping that you can report on some of the programs River's bringing from the VA's MIREC and all the other different things that you found down in the conference.
Yes, thank you. It was quite a conference, learning from different researchers from all over the world the struggle with suicide. We are not the only ones, definitely. I think right now it's a unique time for Missoula, especially because we're coming up on what may possibly be a honeymoon phase after the fires, where families are acclimating back and maybe facing some financial difficulties or just coming to terms with the season ahead, which we all know is snow and rain and ice and weather problems. So one of the biggest things we learned is wellness care for self with probiotics, vitamin D, being able to get integrated with behavioral health somehow and reaching out and being willing to reach out. We also learned that families, it's important if you do get into crisis and you're reaching out, that although we've seen safety plans put in place, that a crisis response plan instead, which is basically looking at a person's strengths and being ready for the crisis and being able to prepare for something just in case, building our own toolbox is very helpful in coping with the days ahead and the winter coming.
Well, another issue that was big at the conference was a lot of the issues surrounding the veterans that has been typical mental health. There's a lot of talk on how it's physical. Is that correct?
Definitely. We heard a lot about chronic pain and that PTSD and TBIs, how that affects a person's ability to have executive function and be able to think straight.
Well, Chris, you being with the National Guard doing the family outreach, it's really kind of a joy. I wish you would have been able to go down and see what we saw down there. It was fascinating. Kristen, you know the statistics on the veterans, and we've been talking about this, 53% from the 2016 study were veterans with chronic pain or chronic conditions. You just joined the River team, but you're seeing what we're doing. Do you want to make some comments?
Yeah, I'd love to. We were able to host, it was my first time being part of a clinic last Friday, and being able to see the beautiful integration of case management and the team reaching out and talking to veterans about their individual struggles and what they face with the VA, whether they're working with them or not, having them feel a sense of community at River was a great thing to be part of. Also being able to offer some mental health and having families be able to come in and talk and know that there are recreational activities that will be available to them was a big piece of it. Seeing them be able to go into the clinic and get acupuncture and being able to see the various services that are offered in the clinic was really enlightening for me as a newbie to the team.
Next Saturday, following Thanksgiving, we're hosting any veteran wants to come in, we're going to feed them a Thanksgiving dinner from 4 to 7. And we're kind of excited. Is that the kind of stuff you were talking about with recreation, or was there more?
I think the recreation piece, there's been veterans and families going out and shooting guns. There's been ice skating. There's been, what is the big ball where you get in the ball?
Knocker balls.
Knocker balls, right. There's been knocker balls. And then being able to have families sit down and talk about their experience and time together was really powerful. The Thanksgiving feast with having veterans and families have a place to go also is just a service that we're offering for free that's really quite necessary at times when families are struggling and some are not able to make ends meet with bills. And it's frankly an opportunity for everybody to get together and just feel a sense of community in the veteran community in one place. And we'll be making a lot of turkeys, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're preparing for over 200 people.
So, Chris, I'm sure you know, as most people know, the holidays are a hard time for a lot of veterans and families out there. Do you have any programs coming up to help veterans and their families in the holiday season?
Absolutely. We're very blessed to be a part of Operation Homefront. Operation Homefront provides several opportunities to help families throughout not only the holidays, but throughout the year. What we're really proud of right now is that we have Operation Homefront toys going on. The Dollar Tree is in partnership with Operation Homefront, and we have several toys being delivered to several armories throughout Montana, specifically the 6 that I mentioned, being Havre, Missoula, Helena, Billings, Belgrade, and Missoula. Anyone in the Deer system, anyone that is eligible to receive a military ID, can come in and pick out some toys for any children that are in need, any families that are short on cash this season. I'm also able to provide resources of other opportunities to help their family should they need something more than a few gifts. So please get a hold of us at the Armory.
Well, that ties into what Fez Felipe is working with Team Red, White, and Blue. They are gathering coats around the community for the veterans and their families. We were real happy and proud that we could donate some children coats because I know a lot of kids need it. So maybe we can introduce the two of you and get the two programs married up somehow.
Absolutely. Children grow so incredibly fast, and if you don't have the extensive family network and support system that you need, your child's going to be going through a new coat probably twice a year the way they lose them and outgrow them. So there are so many resources out there to help our families, and it's really important that you take advantage of those because that's what they're for. That's why we're here. The whole point of my position is to connect families, veterans, military members, again, anyone in the Deer system, with the resources and referrals that they need to be successful and have a good life in Montana.
Well, Kristen, this brings us to another point. These programs we're talking about, that's trying to catch the veteran before they go into crisis. And how important is that?
Absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. And helping the families feel supported and being able to offer the veteran resources that it's hard to go out there and try and round up resources yourself. So being able to integrate together and help them to feel like there's a one-stop shop for answers is a good service to provide.
Another program that we just got approved this week, and Mayor Engen is behind it. Jesse Ramos, who's been on the show several times, helped us prepare it for city council, and the city council members met with us after the meeting, and they all support it. We are going to be hanging 53 flags on Higgins Street Bridge with crosses for the veterans that completed suicide last year across Montana. That's the official number. So, Kristen, the flags just came in this week, and we have our veterans in our program out there building the crosses. How excited are our veterans to honor?
I think it's mixed feelings for them to be able to give back, but at the same time recognizing that there's a need for a lot of work out there and a need for a community support.
And that's what we're hoping when you drive over the Higgins Street Bridge, is we're hoping that you will remember that there are veterans out there that are in need. Reach out. A lot of the veterans that are completing suicide are not in any system, and they're socially isolated. The other statistic that blew me away was 18 to 24-year-old veterans were the highest growing population of suicides from 2009 to 2012. It doubled. A lot of people don't understand the fight that we're fighting here at River. You worked with United Way in the suicide prevention.
Correct.
And you're seeing the programs that are coming out of the research. You're seeing what we're doing at River. What are our programs? How are we doing here? Give us a grade.
I think there's a definitely A-, just because I don't give A's to just anybody. I think that it's just really important that veterans know that they have resources and they have a place to go to, and we're offering that's outside of the system that some of them have struggled with. I also think there are other resources for them to be. It's very important that they're aware of the basic veterans crisis Crisis line, 1-800-273-8255. Press 1. Crisis text line, put in MT and then 741-741. And the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Other recommendations I also learned from the conference was that there are some good apps out there that we can use for times that get stressful. Tactical Breather is one that's a really good resource for breathing. We get into a fight or flight situation, and it's one or the other, and finding that place to breathe so that we can get centered is a really good tool to be able to just have on your phone. At least 84% of us have a smartphone on us at all times, and they've become an extension of ourselves. So using the apps that can help us to anything from mindfulness to CBT training, Tactical Breather, of course, using your music, whatever helps to calm a person to help them get into a space of being able to think clearer is an advantage to get out of that space, because we also know that with suicide is a lot of impulse, a lot of crisis management, feeling like there's no way out. And there is a way out, and that reaching out, being willing to reach out on whether it's a text or a call, it means everything. That means there's that little sliver of hope that's so important. And there are definitely people in the community that care and are trying very hard to get out of our silos and get to you, get you the help you need. We're waiting.
Well, Jason, I met your grandparents at the last veterans clinic we did. And I know there's an awful lot of those ladies, and I want to give them a thumbs up for all the prayers that they're giving.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah. My grandma, Jeanette Zentgraf, my grandpa, John Zentgraf. You might have heard of Jeanette because she writes some things that not everyone necessarily agrees with in the newspaper, but she writes what she believes in. You know, she's got a strong faith. She's always out there praying, and it works. You know, she's a fantastic lady, and there's a lot of ladies that she has in her circle that are just... They're loyal listeners, and they really believe in what organizations like River, individuals like Chris Scobie here with us, all these people that are doing great things to try to help veterans out, whether it's decreasing suicide rates or even just alleviating pain or having somebody to talk to or even going out and having fun with other veterans, reuniting with the family. It's important to address all those issues. I'm not saying every veteran has all those issues, but if they do, there needs to be a place to go. And when they get out, there needs to be something, hey, if you want help with this, this is where you go. If you need help with claims work, you go to Valley Veteran Service Center. You go to River for this. You go over here to this, National Guard for this. There needs to be some triage. And I know that's one thing that we're really working towards with the HEART program is having that guidance, that beacon of hope, that light of where to go to really hopefully get all their issues addressed. So yeah, having the support of all the listeners and fans out there it really means a lot, because that means we're doing something right. Maybe not everything, but something.
Well, the other thing, Jason, that was really special was Zootown Thrift recognized what we're doing for the veterans, and they donated to the cause. And normally we don't take a lot of donations because we don't put our veterans out there on display asking, pay us. We've worked off of blessings from a lot of different areas. And so that was really touching that a store like Zootown Thrift would come to us and offer up assistance. It was really heart-touching.
Yeah, it was amazing. It really was. Jeremiah and Becca Peterson came forward, and they wanted to make a donation to our HEART program. Wells Fargo's also made a donation. So those two different companies helping out is going to make a big difference for the HEART program. It's not a program that's going to bring in revenue, but it's a program that's worth putting money into because it is going to bring a lot of help and a lot of guidance to veterans out there. That's how it looks right now, and I'm sure it's going to change by the time it really gets implemented because we're always learning new things. There's always organizations jumping on board and giving their input and helping out, which is fantastic. So we're really excited to have them a part of HEART and look forward to working with Zootown Thrift in the future.
Also, what we've got to remember with Veterans Day is it is the gateway to helping other veterans. And I managed to attend several events that were occurring around town. Some of the events that I went to on Veterans Day was really nice. See, Cabela's was hosting a nice event. I was able to attend an event at Rose Park. So, Jason, what were you doing?
Yeah, well, for River's recreational therapy event for the week, we went to Glacier Ice Rink and took some families out, had little ones on ice skates. Boots are probably 4 inches long. It was really cute. But, yeah, even the little ones got out there on the ice, skated around. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of people out. And, yeah, it was a great time seeing the vets and their family out there. Brought some hot cocoa. And Glacier Ice Rink was generous enough to actually give us the skating and the ice skates for free. So it saved us some money there. And, yeah, it was great to have them kind of help out with our recreational therapy event.
You know, Jason, we're coming up on the anniversary of the first year of the RT program. The most touching moment for me during the year was when we had a 10-year-old in the program said that he didn't know Mommy and Daddy couldn't go out and have fun without fighting. What are some of your thoughts on the program from its inception?
Yeah, that's fairly common. You know, not to say that all of our students are having issues, but the ones that are seeing tremendous benefits from it. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's great to see a family come in, get some education, get to participate in the recreational therapy events, and watch the kids have a good time. You know, I'm a sucker for kids. I love kids, and watching, you know, a couple families out there, all their kids running around playing and having a blast and leaving and having a good time is priceless. But I got to say, my overall best memory is last year when we went to Whitefish. We put on an event for about 140 veteran and family members all together. And yeah, there was one family who couldn't afford Christmas, really, you know, maybe 1 or 2 presents each, and this was their Christmas present. And, you know, it would have been anywhere from $800 to $1,000 or more to do this weekend, and ended up costing them gas and $20 a piece. So it was great to hear them talk about how much it meant to them, because to us, we kind of get caught up in, you know, in the chaos and just say, oh yeah, we're just doing an event. But to the participants, it's much more than that. It really is what we intend it to be, therapeutic and really life-altering.
Well, the other thing that I want to remind our listeners is all of our RT events are open to any veteran or their family members. Even a divorced mom with kids, they are open, and they're free.
Yeah, so give us a call, and you're more than welcome to. We'd be happy to have you on any of our RT events. So thank you very much for listening to Veterans Heartbeat. We'd not be able to bring it to you without all the support of the listeners. And thank you again to Farside Signs for sponsoring the show. If you do need a unique vehicle design, swing on by and check them out. Also, thank you to our main sponsor, River. River has an array of services such as veterans-focused education, a vestibular disorder clinic, and now non-pharmaceutical treatments for pain, anxiety, and depression. Check them out on Facebook or on the web at riverofchange.org. Lastly, we'd like to show our appreciation to all of our veterans. Thank you for serving our country and keeping it safe.